Hi, I'm Darcel Lobo, and I own Dow Coaching and Consulting, where I help lawyers who are either looking to open their own law firm or want to run their law firm better. Most of my clients are great at being lawyers, but maybe not so great at the business side of running a law firm. And so today we're going to talk about if you want to open your law firm in 2024, how do you do it? And what would I do? So I am a law firm owner. I own Dow Law Firm in Seattle. I opened my law firm in March of 2016. So it's been about 8.5 years now that I've been solo. I've been an attorney for 15 years in total. So before I went out on my own, about 7 years prior, I worked at a small law firm. And I started doing this type of, consulting work to help other lawyers because when I went out on my own, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue on how to open a law firm. I had this idea in my head that I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to make it actually happen. And because I had that doubt for so long, it really slowed down my progress. So it took me at least 2, maybe 3 years from when I thought about going out on my own until I actually opened my law firm, which is a lot of time that I wasted, right? And just along that road in the journey, I'm a mom. I have 2 kids who are now 12 and 14, but I've had to learn how to navigate juggling, running a law firm, being a lawyer, being a mom, being a wife, and doing all those things and finding the time for those and having a law firm that would run in a way that supports how I wanted to live. While being a lawyer and a law firm owner is very important to me, it's not the number one priority, but that was a big reason as to why I went out on my own so I could, get control of my time. That was the biggest reason, is that I needed control of my time. I needed some more freedom. I wanted to earn more money, of course. I think that's why most solos go out on their own, is because with the money that you're bringing in for another firm, if you were earning that for yourself, you'd be far better off and more money would go into your pocket. So let's talk about if I was to open a law firm right now, and if I wanted to open my law firm in 2024, right now it's September, okay, what would I do? How would I do it? Well, I would first establish a timeline from when I wanted to open my law firm and then work backwards from that, right? And your time frame could be whatever time frame you decide. If you wanted to open a law firm in 30 days from now, you could do it. As long as you want to do the work, you could do it. Whether it's 60 days, 90 days, you're going to need that ramp up time to put all the building blocks in place to have a law firm that has a solid foundation for when you open your doors. So I would start with, when is your goal to open your law firm? Is it by the end of this year? Is it sooner? So what is that time frame, and really define that, because that will let you know what you need to do and when you need to do it. And the good news is that if you're watching it around this time, October 7th, I open my doors to my 8-week program, which is a roadmap for how to open a law firm. And so it's everything you need to know from A to Z on how to open a law firm in 8 weeks. It is a group program. It's not one-on-one. So I do one-on-one consulting work with attorneys who are looking to open their own law firm. And when we do that, it's really tailored to kind of what you need and what obstacles you're facing. But this program, we really start from nothing, from ground zero, and 8 weeks later, if you do everything that I tell you to do and follow the roadmap that I outlined for you based on my firsthand experience, not only as a lawyer and as a law firm owner, but also from my work and working with other lawyers and talking to colleagues as far as what worked for them and kind of what didn't work. We talk about everything from just the business of getting registered with your state, getting your licensing, getting your tax ID number, to getting your bank accounts open for trust and for operating, getting your website, your law firm name, your email, your logo, your letterhead, the business cards, the business plan of it, how to create a business plan. And I have a free template for you down below, so make sure you look for that if you don't have one. Or maybe you already have a law firm and you never created a business plan. You need that template down below, okay? But we go over figuring out, your practice areas and how to market it and how to get yourself out there in front of your client and how to get clients in the door when you go out on your own. So we cover all of that in 8 weeks. And so what we do is each week we cover new topics, but if you're not able to keep up with that schedule, that's okay, because you have access to the materials, the PDFs, the checklists, the guides, my videos, everything you have access to for a year. So we go through the program in 8 weeks, but if you need some more time, you can take more time. Maybe you don't plan to open your law firm for 90 days. Maybe you're thinking you need 4 or 6 months. That's fine. You have the time in there to take the material at your own pace. But if you are ready to go, and if you are ready to open your law firm, 8 weeks from October 7th, you will be open and ready to take on clients. And so for some of you, maybe you're thinking that this is a quarter to kind of get all, those different pieces in motion, so that, January 1st, 2025, you want to have your law firm open. Make sure you join me. October 7th is when we kick off. And I will make sure I have everything linked down below. If it's not linked just yet, I'll make sure I add it when the registration page goes live, which should be tomorrow, I believe. So if you don't see it today when you watch this, it should be here tomorrow for the registration and how to sign up and all the details you need. So that's the 8-week program, but whatever your time frame is, we need to decide what your time frame is as far as when you want to be open, and then we work backwards as far as what you need to do when, logistically, to have your business, to have your law firm open and ready to take on clients. And then also the money. Like, how much money are you going to spend to open your law firm? If you're like me, I didn't use a lot of money to spend to open my law firm. I didn't use credit. I didn't take a loan. I didn't do any of those things to open my law firm. I was very bare bones, minimal overhead. You don't really need a lot of money to open a law firm, contrary to maybe popular belief. But again, I was very intentional about not spending money for things that I didn't really need until I had the money to pay for it. Okay, so I didn't have a lot of drafting software. Like, my practice areas were estate planning and real estate, and I also was doing a lot of bankruptcy work. So I was very minimal as far as what software I had when I opened my law firm. I will tell you now, this is really embarrassing. For my books, to manage my P&Ls for my first year, I didn't even have software for that. I didn't have QuickBooks. I didn't have a bookkeeper. I did have a tax preparer who did our personal taxes, but I didn't have any of that stuff. I didn't know how to use QuickBooks. So I literally had a Word document where I tracked what money came in, from what clients, and then what it was that I paid for that month. I did that manually in a Word document, the table that I created. My poor tax preparer who had to navigate that. But I didn't have employees. I didn't have a bunch, there wasn't a lot of, I could never do that now, right? I mean, with staff and things like that. But that's how I opened my law firm, right? I was very minimal. I was very simple. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. You don't need all the bells and whistles to open a law firm. You just don't. Okay, and once you have the income coming in to support those expenses, now I have a bookkeeper who does all my books for me, right? I have staff, I have, a lot of software I didn't have before. And so as you have that money coming in to support paying for it, that's when you add on that expense, not before you have money coming in the door. And that's where I see a lot of attorneys going wrong, is that they're spending all this money to open their law firm. They don't need half of it. There are things that are nice to have, sure, but do you need it? You don't have any income coming in. So let's cut back the expenses. Let's get income coming in. Let's get you paid. And then let's start adding in expenses and the things that are nice to have once we have, again, the income coming in to support doing so. So when I opened my law firm, I spent less than $2,500 open my law firm, and that included 1 month's rent. My rent was $820 a month at that time, I think. And if you are working virtually and you don't have an office space, overhead of office, then you can open your law firm for even less than that, right? I mean, you need, your laptop, which you probably already have, printer, scanner, some business cards, some letterhead, you need a website. You can do it yourself. I tell all the lawyers I talk to use Squarespace. I love Squarespace. And you can pay someone on Fiverr like $400 to design the website for you on Squarespace. And I think Squarespace is, it used to be like $120 a year, maybe it's like $200 a year for your website. And for hosting, I think somewhere in that range, but again, not a lot. Pay someone $30-$40 on Fiverr to design a logo for you. Claim your email and domain through GoDaddy. I mean, again, these are all things that are not super expensive. And if you're in law school and you want to go out on your own, or you're working at a job and you're not happy and you know you want to go out on your own, or maybe you're not working right now, right? And you're in between jobs for whatever reason and you want to go out on your own, you can do all these things yourself, right? It's going to require your time, but not a lot of money. So you can do these things yourself. And then also for some of your bigger expenses like malpractice insurance, that could be, depending on your practice area and how long you've been practicing, that can be, $1,500, that could be $3,000 a year. A lot of these insurance providers for malpractice insurance will allow you to do a payment plan. So you don't have to pay it all in one lump sum up front. You can do it over the course of 6 months, or you're kind of like car insurance, right? You can pay your premium in a 6-month installment, or you can pay it monthly. So make sure you look into monthly options for payments on your malpractice insurance. And then also, if you are going out on your own and if you're working part-time, maybe you're like in between or you're just not that busy, right? If you're just starting out, a lot of times providers will have part-time policies, like a 20-hour-a-week policy versus a full-time policy, which is gonna, cost you less money also. So make sure you look into that because malpractice insurance will be one of your biggest expenses, right? And for a lot of them, if they ask you for the lump sum up front, you can look into a payment plan to pay less out of pocket initially when you're getting your doors open for your law firm. We talked about a business plan. Make sure you have one. Make sure you have a plan and a vision and goals for your law firm for your first 12 months, your first 5 years, what the 10 years might look like, what your practice areas are going to be. What are you going to specialize in something? Are you going to have a niche? Who's your ideal client? Who are you talking to when you're doing your marketing? For me, a big part of my practice used to be bankruptcy, but my ideal client wasn't just anyone who wanted to file for bankruptcy. That wasn't who I wanted to talk to. Who I wanted to talk to was a homeowner who was employed, who was facing foreclosure. That was the type of bankruptcy case that I was looking for. Now, of course, in doing that marketing in my website, I was going to attract people who needed bankruptcy, who didn't fit that description of a homeowner and facing foreclosure and employed. However, that's who I was talking to because that's who I identified to be my ideal client in that practice area of bankruptcy. So you'll want to be specific as far as who you're looking to attract with your practice area in your law firm. And so again, that free resource is linked down below for you. If you don't have a business plan, you want to go out on your own, or again, if you are out on your own and you never did a business plan, let's make sure you grab that freebie so you can do so. And then, once we go through all the steps of building out your law firm, and again, with the 8-week course that we're launching in a few weeks, it is everything you need, A to Z, your complete checklist and your total just roadmap on how to open a law firm, which I wish I would have had when I was going out on my own 8.5 years ago. I didn't have that. So these are all things that I have learned along the way to give you a fast track on how to get your law firm open in 8 weeks. I wish I had that. But once we get your law firm open, we have to find clients. And I think there's a misconception that, when we say find clients, attorneys think, I have to go find clients. Where are they? Your clients are already out there. Your clients already need you. They already want you. They need a lawyer who has your skill, your expertise, your talent, your knowledge about what their issue is. We just have to get you in front of them. So with your business plan, and as we build out your law firm and as we go through this 8-week course, it's where is your client? Where are they going when they need help? Who are they talking to? How do we get you in front of your clients? They know that you are the go-to person for their issue. So that's a lot of the work that we do with the marketing and, becoming, better at telling people what we do and how we do it, whether you want to call it your elevator pitch or 30-second pitch, whatever you want to call it, right? But making sure people know what you do, because again, your clients are already out there. They already need you. We just need to put you in front of them. So if I was going to open a law firm in 2024, I would for sure be signing up for the 8-week course. Again, I wish I had had something like that when I was going out on my own, especially from someone who was like me, who was, also juggling, taking care of children, needing more flexibility with time, needing that freedom. Like, all those things are ingrained into this 8-week course because that's the perspective that I come from in showing you how to open your law firm. So if you're looking to go out on your own, or maybe you're in your first few months, you just launched and you realize maybe you didn't lay a very strong foundation for your law firm, join me also. I would love to have you. So I'll have that below. I'll have the business plan below and how to reach me below. So I hope this is helpful. If you're looking to go out on your own in 2024, I 100% think that you should. You have what it takes. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Let me show you how to do it in the 8-week course. And I will see you once your law firm is open. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.